Hello, Boxing Asylum listeners, ready for another edition of Balls Deep with Big Russ. Steve Wellings here on this special midweek show. Russ, how are you?
I'm all right, Steve. How are you, pal?
I'm keeping well, actually, Russ. I've actually
Yeah,
this weekend we've just seen the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight. Now, I know you're a big fan. Did you manage to get a stream in the end?
yeah, I did. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah,
What do you reckon? Then go on.
I reckon it were a load of mullock. I reckon he carried him for 10 rounds and then just took him out. He could have took him out in round one, but he gave him a couple of rounds. Had a look at him. It was like a sparring session. It were. I couldn't believe the amount of people that bought into it. It reminded me of them Vince McMahon shows, with wrestling, and
Yeah.
there were the backdrops to it and stories and all the characters in background, like Leonard Ellaby, Dana White, Floyd's dad, Paulie Malignaggi, Uncle, I don't give a shit, you don't know shit about boxing, Uncle Roger, and what's the other brother, Jeff, all that lot.
Jeff's not too bad now. Jeff speaks a bit of sense.
Yeah, he does speak a bit of sense, but they're all raving lunatics, aren't they? They're all going to say Floyd's the best, and to be honest with you, he didn't look that good, did he? If he'd have
Well,
been in with Canelo, he'd have got beat, I think.
yeah, he's been out a while though, hasn't he, Russ? A couple of years
Yeah,
out the
yeah, he
game.
has been out a while. This is why people need to stop going on about Anthony Joshua being King Kong and best thing since sliced bread, because Vladimir were 18 months out at ring, and it takes it out. I've spoken to Carl Froch many a time about this. He was telling me that he was getting out of bed after the first year of not boxing, and what his body didn't feel as hard, and he were aching in training sessions more than he should. And you get older, Father Time don't wait for anybody, does it? Unless you're Bernard Hopkins. He didn't wait, so he didn't look that good. But I didn't think it was a good fight, and they were hugging and kissing at the end and all that. I don't like to see all that.
You feel like you've been mugged off?
Yeah, I feel like we've been mugged off. Though I like to see like Dylan White and Joshua. They didn't like each other at the end, did they? That's
You're
why
you're always saying though, Russ, there's no money in boxing. Look at the money McGregor and Mayweather made.
yeah. Well, there's no money at our end. Yeah, they've. What did he make? 77 million.
Yeah.
And what would Mayweather get?
Well over 100 million, close to
Yeah,
two
100
probably.
million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they managed to play it right, didn't they? But if truth be known, people are saying it's done boxing a lot of good and give it some respect, but I don't think that at all. I think it brought UFC down to a WWE wrestling event, and it brought boxing down to a WWE wrestling event. It made mugs of both the sports. That's my opinion. Forget all them Sky people at Sky who are coming out with certain comments. They are known as in the business as company men. They have to work for Sky. They all have mortgages apart from a couple of them. So they're gonna have to. They've got to say the pit, haven't they? They've got to stick up for the fight. But I know people who were at Sky, and when this fight was read out, they were like, "You are joking me," because they know the credibility has all gone down, hasn't it? They've got to go on telly and say this and that about it, and what can they say? And look what they all said afterwards. Look what Adam Smith said. Oh my God!
Do you think they were
Johnny
selling
Nelson.
something that they didn't believe in? Some of them.
Of course, they were selling something they didn't believe in, but the jobs are online, aren't they? They should be embarrassed. Johnny Nelson. Well, I can see where Connor can win. He's 29. Mayweather's 40, and he's tough and he's up for it. Come on. He never won it. He never really won a round, and Mayweather never threw a punch in the first 2 rounds. He just had a look at him, so he could give them rounds to Connor, couldn't you? You were only having a look at him and looking at his feet and how he worked, because he was a bit orthodox, wasn't he? Bit, all over the place, unpredictable. But come on, once he were chasing fight, to be honest with you, when Mayweather were chasing it, he looked like a fish out of water, didn't he?
Yeah, it's not his game, is it? Though.
Not his game, is he? Just like to sit there, doesn't he? Counter puncher, but I'd have put our fighter Robin Reed in there at 170 pounds, same as Connor, and he'd have smashed him through the floor inside 3 rounds. He would have smashed him to pieces, and he's 46. He would have flogged him.
You still
He would
on
have
the
been a
Robin
man.
Reed train then, Russ? I thought you'd given up
No,
on
I'm
that.
not on Robin Reed train. Obviously, we've signed him, haven't we? And he's with us. But if Robin don't get to fight, there'll be other things he can do. He's a good lad, Robin. He's He's a good kid. He's also a pal of mine. But no, I just think that if Robin Reed had fought him, he would have beat him up. And he hadn't fought since 2012 when he fought Kenny Anderson. He would have been. He's not a boxer, McGregor. He's not a boxer, but he's laughing at everybody now, isn't he? Laughing and joking, and he's a bit of a superstar, isn't he? For what? Every time I've seen him in UFC, he's been choked out.
Do you watch UFC?
I don't watch it, mate, but I've seen these highlight clips on YouTube. He's been flogged, hasn't he, 3 times. Mayweather's just schooled him, so he's getting millions for losing. I mean, he's either no Eddie the Eagle. Hey?
Mayweather had to force the fight, though, didn't he, as the boxer?
Yeah, he did have to force it, so you got to give Mayweather credit, but I think it was all a bit of a pantomime, wasn't it? I mean, I expected somebody in crowd to shout, "Look, he's behind you!" You know, like they do at pantomime. I take my kids to pantomime, they go, "He's behind you!" It was like that, wasn't it? Pantomime with all the characters, all playing the parts, and I mean, they're even going to press conferences on the same plane to save money. What's all that about? When Ricky Hatton were doing them press conferences 10 years ago, listen, they kept him on different planes. So, you know what I mean?
Floyd Mayweather's worth nearly as much as you and Dennis Hobson now, Ross.
Not as much as me, he's worth as much as Dennis. It ain't about money, though, is it, boxing, really? We're all in it for passion, aren't we? And if we get a paycheck, every now and then, it's all right, isn't it, in boxing? And I never sat out in boxing to make money, obviously, because my talents lie elsewhere to make money. But and to be honest with you, if you're not a fighter or a top fighter, you're not going to get much money in boxing. There's no pot of gold, is there, end at rainbow? We do it because we love the sport, don't we? If you get a few quid, you're happy, aren't you? That's how you have to treat it. People shouldn't go into boxing to think they're going to get rich, because in there, when you've got promoters that are losing money hand over fist, if they're not going to make money, you're not going to make money. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
But you know yourself, Steve, it's hardest sport of all, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you think you're going to get some money, you never get it anyway because they don't pay you.
I know all about that, yeah.
We know all about that, don't we? Or you get a bounce check. So not that I've had one of them, like, but no, it's an hard sport. But you've got to give Mayweather credit. He's probably got his pension fight, hasn't he, there? I would have liked to have seen Carl Froch get a pension fight, but he's probably not bothered now because he's set up for life. But I felt he was due. I felt Carl was due a good fight, after all the fights he did. Because don't forget, he had a lot of fights that went under the radar, didn't he? That were good fights.
Yeah, Pascal was a good fight.
Pascal, that went under the radar. And what were other ones? There's been Arthur Abraham, Glenn Johnson. That were a good fight.
Jermaine Taylor was a good one.
Oh, Jermaine Taylor were on highlights day after, wasn't it, on ITV4? I mean,
yeah, Mick Hennessy got it on a stream, didn't he?
Mick Hennessy, yeah, I watched that on a stream in. It was a tenner on internet. He had a Henry Porras fight that were on a stream. That was first stream fight for.
That's right. That was on ESPN over in America, I think, or one of the Latin channels, wasn't it? Yeah.
I watched Froch fight in a pub in Nottingham. Henry Porras, that was his 14th fight, I think.
Because Carl was looking to crack the American market, and he was learning Spanish at the time, wasn't he, and everything?
Yeah. He were when he fought him. He was in camp for Howard Eastman, I think. Well, no, not Howard Eastman. He was in camp with Howard Eastman. He was training for Hopkins, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So they were out in Los Angeles. He fought in Los Angeles, I think. Bernard Hopkins. He pushed Hopkins all the way. Howard Eastman, he was red hot at the time, wasn't he? You remember?
Yeah, I think Hopkins won the fight handy, though, didn't he? Howard didn't let his hands go enough.
Yeah, he didn't, I suppose, yeah, but he got old man out of it, didn't he, by Hopkins, didn't he? Even though they were probably the same age.
Do you remember a fighter who gave Howard a lot of trouble, who Carl blasted away in a couple of rounds? Sergei Tatevosian.
Yeah, do you know what? Sergei Tatevosian, right? He gave Bute problems as well, didn't he?
Yeah. When
Bute were red hot, I think, was it just before Bute won world title?
It was one of his last fights before he got the IBF.
One of his last fights before he won it, yeah. And he was a tough Russian and
very tricky.
Yeah, and Carl went out and he blew him away, didn't he? Blew him away in 2 rounds.
Wasn't that Carl's first fight on Sky?
Do you know what? I think it might have been, yeah. First fight back. He'd had a couple of stints on Sky, though, hadn't he? Before, because he fought Brian McGee, didn't he, on Sky as well?
Was that before or after Tatavosian? I can't remember.
Tetevosky, I think, might have been after Brian McGee. Oh, maybe look at my computer now. But the Brian McGee fight, I think that was about his 19th fight, wasn't it? Brian McGee. But let's have a look. I'm sure it would before then. It might have been after. Might have been after then. But he was a good fight, and like I said, everybody were tipping him to beat Carl, weren't they? That Tatavosky.
Oh, you're right, Russ. He fought Brian McGee. He fought Dale Westerman on Sky as well, I think, didn't he? He was the Australian. Dale Westerman, that Australian who he beat for the Commonwealth title.
Yeah,
and he knocked
Dodson out. On Sky.
Yeah. Aye, Ruben Grunewald. I remember him knocking him out as well. He was a South African based in London. He's written a book actually, Ruben Grunewald. If any of the listeners are interested, they should go and get that. It's like a self-published book, and it's real. It's like your type of thing, Russ. No holds barred. He lays into Frank Maloney or Kelly, as she's known now. Somewhat shocking.
Oh God! Well, I remember when Carl came back to Sky. Or it might have been his first fight on Sky because he got BBC to start with, wasn't he? Yeah, BBC what to start with, and then I'm not sure if he did an ITV one. He was on a show with Witter. Oh, that was it. Then he did an ITV, BBC, yeah, up to Damien A. Then he did Henry Porras on a live stream from America. Matthew Barney were ITV. I don't know about Ruben Grunewald or Dale Westerman, but Brian McGee was Sky, Dodson was Sky, Tetevoskin was Sky, Robin Reed fight was Sky. Rybacki were ITV.
Yeah,
so Pascal.
That was ITV, Rybacki, wasn't it? I remember that. Because wasn't Rybacki a late replacement for Rubin Hollywood Williams?
No, it wasn't him. It was Denny Sinkin.
Was it not Williams? No, I thought it was supposed to be Williams. He was supposed to be fighting on that one.
No, it was Denny Sinkin for the WBC world title, and he vacated it, didn't he?
Right, I may be remembering that wrong.
That made it vacant. Oh, no, sorry. It was Dennis Inkin for the WBC final eliminator, I think, or something like that. And what happened were he ended up fighting Rybacki as a late replacement at 15-0. He came in with a couple of days' notice. And then, of course, in the next couple of months, Carl Zaghi vacated, didn't he, in the July. On the 270th day, he vacated, and then it was Pascal, wasn't he, with number 2 rank, wasn't he? So he moved up into Inkin's spot, I think. And
we're both right, Russ. I'm just looking at it now. It says, Dennis Inkin, this is 2008, May 2008. Following the second withdrawal of Dennis Inkin, the WBC rightfully installed Froch as the mandatory number 1 challenger to the title. And then it said, Inkin's withdrawal has left Mick Hennessy with a date to fill. He then contacted Colombia's Alejandro Berrio, but he couldn't fight. And then he contacted Ruben Williams, who stepped into the plate.
Yeah, the old guy, though, wasn't he?
And then he couldn't fight, and he ended up fighting Rybacki in the end.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Ruben Williams. It wasn't Scott Williams. It was Ruben Williams, wasn't it?
Ruben Hollywood Williams.
Oh, Ruben Hollywood Williams. Hollywood Williams. Jesus.
We've ended up going down a black hole anyway. Russ, tell me, there was another thing I was going to ask you about. You know the way you're matchmaking for these shows at the moment? Isn't it Sheffield? You've got one coming up in October. What's the biggest headaches you've had at the moment trying to get that together?
Biggest headaches? Fucking hell. Well, there's about 10 here now, and 8 of them are TBA.
You're getting as bad as Frank Warren with the TBAs.
I know, yeah. When it's TBA, they're a right fighter. Aren't? Sometimes they're better than a journeyman, aren't they? TBA. I'll plough through it. I've only just got the rest of the list, the actual proper list. I thought it were 14. I've been given 8 today, so there's a few sort of, but it's 8. I'm doing it with AJ, aren't I? Because Dennis has gone to Jersey now, so me and AJ are doing it. That's his nephew on it, AJ Hobson. He's Sheedy's manager. So first fight, we've got Sheedy Cameron, and then there's loads of TBAs. Problems I've got is Tommy Chadburn from Cunningsborough. He's making his comeback. He's 4-0. He's on a Carl Grief show, and he's our fighter. How bad is that?
Yeah.
But you know, no disrespect to Carl Greaves. You know, Tommy Chadburn's a good ticket seller, but I'd prefer him fighting on our show a week later. I mean, what can you do? I don't think that'll be happening again. That's just a one-off. But you know, good luck to Tommy in his 5th fight. I wanted him to fight Tommy Frank, and it was all looking good. And I don't think Tommy Frank had a great fight on the 29th of July. And then Tommy Chadburn stormed dressing room and says, "I want you, I want you." You know, thinking he's about Mr. T. Glubber he did his Glubber and they went, "Get out of this dressing room," and they were all set to fight. And now they've moved goalposts. They're saying they want it at £115, and Tommy wants it at £118, and blah de blah. And Tommy's an £118 fighter, and Tommy Frank's an £115 fighter. So we're talking £3. But Tommy Frank was saying he'll fight him anyway. Now he's had that bad performance, or not brilliant. They're saying different, but I don't know full ins and outs of it. But it looks like it's not going to happen. So he's going to stay on Carl Reeves' show. But a couple other ones, you know, one injured, other one wants too much money, and other one's booked up, and other one's just not ready for it yet. And you can have a list of 10 fighters. You could be given a list of 8 fighters, and you say, right, match them. You've got to find everybody who's available, numbers, speak to all the managers, and you get the list there. So and you make 10 for each guy. So then you've got 80 fighters on one list for 8 fights, yeah. And you'll go through that 10, and there'll be a problem with every single one of them, and you might be left with 1 or 2 or none. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And then that'll go to, obviously, Dennis, and he'll say yay or nay, or what you're out your head, or what you're doing. You know what I mean? And so it's not as easy as what people think. So my sympathies are with, you know, people who are involved in boxing, trying to make fights, because it's hard work. And when you lose, the fighter blames the trainer blames the manager blames who? The matchmaker, doesn't he?
You.
That's what happens, isn't it?
And it's all about selling the tickets. It's all about selling tickets on these shows, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, but this show, will sell easy because it's 2 Sheffield kids, isn't it? And Sheedy and Cameron, they're both good fighters, both at the peak, and it'll be a good sell. And they both got good trainers. Chris Smedley's a good trainer for Liam, and Glyn Rhodes is obviously old school, isn't he? Wiley Old Fox, he's a good trainer.
Yeah.
And you know it's a good fight, and so the tickets all fly out for this, same as the show on the 11th of November in Jersey. Well, normally you put fighters on ticket deals, but that won't be a ticket deal one, because that'll do 1,800 tickets they want at Jersey, and they're all sold more or less now, because now what happens on Ireland, you see, are you with me?
Yeah.
So there ain't a problem selling the tickets for that. They'll just go like hot cakes. And
is that a dinner show, Russ?
Yeah, that'll probably be a dinner show, yeah, but we might be changing it to the one at Ponsford's a dinner show, but the one at Jersey might be a dinner show, and it might not. We might be having more capacity on it, like, you know, because it's big news in Jersey at the moment. It's bigger news than the Ponsford one. Whenever there's a show on in Jersey, they always sell, but it probably will be a dinner show, yeah, because they like that sort of thing out there. Do you know, like if you go to shows in the south of France and stuff like that, they tend to be like a dinner shows and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
They like that rolling up and high roller job, innit? Whereas I'm not like that. I just like
suit and tie job, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a black tie job, probably the Jersey one. But I just like to go up in my Burton shirt, my jeans, and my Adidas Sanders, and go buy a pint and cheer it on.
Do you not wear your Elise jumper with your gold chain?
Yeah, I don't wear my Elise jumper with my gold chain. You twat saying that. No, that's that jumper. It's my Old Faithful jumper. I've got loads of trackers again for no, don't we yours? But no, that's my favourite. It just feels very nice when it's been washed. So I always seem to throw that on. It's funny, innit? You could have like 100 jumpers, 50 jumpers, but you always put the same one on, don't you? You feel comfortable in. So I call it my Old Faithful.
You're sponsored by Elise, though, aren't you, Russ?
Yeah, well, I did get a lot of. I don't call it sponsored, but I was giving a load of stuff, and they said, "Is there any chance of you wearing them and sticking them on Twitter?" I said, "Yeah, go on then." So I copped for quite a bit of release stuff. I mean, it's back in fashion now, isn't it?
More brands want to be associated with you now that you don't swear on the pod anymore.
More brands. You think that might be it?
Yeah.
Maybe you might be right. I've got to be professional, and I mean, Dennis says, "Why don't you just smoke?" He says, "You've got a good boxing brain. Why don't you just tidy your act up a little bit, you and Ingram, and don't swear as much? Why don't you try and be like Ingram? Don't swear, be professional, and we'll see where it goes." And things. There is a few doors that are opening for me at the moment, and I've been fortunate, I suppose. I mean, swearing's not good anyway, is it? I mean, I try not to swear, but every now and then you'll let one out. I mean, I know a few boxers who, when they go to Sky, like, for instance, Jamie Moore used to let them out all the time, didn't he?
Yeah, Dave Caldwell did, I think, a while back as well.
Yeah, Dave Caldwell. And, people from these sort of backgrounds, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm from the hood, like Johnny Nelson. I'm from the hood, talking the hood, and then talking Sky Companyman on Sky. But when he's on IFL, he talks the hood. But no, my dad was a coal miner, wasn't he? So I'm just straight John Bull, mate. I'm not dragged up or anything like that. But I know right from wrong, and swearing's not good, is it? So I try and keep it a little bit more professional. I've been trying my best. But
You're doing well tonight, Russ. Is there anything else you want to add on the pod before we wrap up?
Yeah. Has Brian King got a girlfriend? Because my cousin seems to think he's cute.
I don't know. You'll have to tweet him directly and ask him. I'm not sure, to be honest.
All right. Brilliant.
Anything other boxing related?
Yeah, but I'm going to say something to you then, actually, about boxing. What do you think's going to happen to Dillian White?
Well,
and Anthony Joshua and Wilder and Ortiz and Pulev, because they're in and Bellew, they're all in a bit of a circle, aren't they, with David Ain't mix as well. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, does it?
I think that David Haye, if Huey beats Parker, then Haye will probably fight Huey. But if Parker beats Fury, then I think he'll fight Bryant Jennings. As for Ortiz and Wilder, I think that, personally, I know a lot of people think that Eddie and Al Heyman want to keep Ortiz away from their fighters, and I can understand that. I do think that's what's happening, but I don't think Eddie thinks that Ortiz would necessarily beat Joshua. I think that he has full confidence in Joshua beating Ortiz, just as Al Heyman does with Wilder. But I think that they're looking for the path of least resistance, aren't they? If they can avoid Ortiz at any cost, they will. But if Joshua were to fight Ortiz, I think Eddie would back his man. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily make Ortiz a massive favourite over either of them. I think Ortiz will beat Wilder, but I think Joshua would probably beat Ortiz. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Ortiz and Joshua, I think it's a flip a coin fight, to be honest. I really, really do. Yeah, Joshua might have just a touch more power, but Ortiz is a very, very silky skilled boxer. He knows all tricks of trade. And if you look at Froch's interview on a day, other day on here, and he was saying that Adam Smith and Robert McCracken and them, and Sky and Matchroom, Eddie and all that lot, they were all they're not gonna go for Wilder and Ortiz in the next couple of years. They're gonna let Joshua, grow into it and learn his trade a bit more. I mean, let's be honest, he only won them rounds against Vladimir when he knocked him down. He didn't win any other rounds, did he?
I can't remember, Russ. I think he might have done
one round. I didn't give him that many rounds other than the ones that knocked him down. I had Vladimir ahead going into that round he got stopped in.
Yeah.
I had him 2 rounds ahead. What did you have him?
I can't remember. I wasn't scoring the fight, but I've got it down for my fight of the year anyway. But I think my impression was that Klitschko was ahead by a round or so. But I wouldn't. Maybe an even fight. I don't know. It wasn't that far out of the equation.
But look at the scoring. They were going to job him anyway, weren't they?
Yeah, they had it wide, didn't they? One judge, I can't remember if it was Don Trella Senior, had it by about 5 rounds to Klitschko.
Well, they're going to.
No, I mean to Joshua. I mean to Joshua. Sorry.
They're going to have it wide when these judges are stopping in suites at Hilton Hotel. Of course, they're going to have it wide, aren't they? They're being buttered up. Nobody's going to rock his little boat, Eddie Hearn's little Joshua boat. Nobody's going to rock it. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to milk it. I'm going to tell you something now. I've heard this secondhand. They're going to milk him until
just between me and you. Just between me and you.
This is between me and you, want fans. They're going to milk. They're going to milk him, and they're going to keep milking him until they can't milk it no more. Until people are screaming blue murder. Do you remember back in the 90s, they milked Chris Eubank that bad that Sky turned around and said, "You can't do this no more. What are you doing?"
Some of them were ridiculous, though, weren't they?
Some of them Eubank fights were shockers. Now, look how many world title fights he had. What did he win? Hang on, I'll tell you how many he won, Christopher Eubank. But Chris Eubank.
Eubank.
I'll tell you how many. Chris Eubank.
This is the WBO title, wasn't it?
Yeah, Chris Eubank, Wikipedia, right? I'm going to tell you that. Chris Eubank, let me tell you, he fought. He won 19 world title fights. 19 he won. He had 24 world title fights. He won 19.
Right.
Do you know how many world champions he beat in them 19 wins? 4.
What? Yeah.
4. Beat 4 world champions. Nigel Benn were 1 at middleweight. The other 3 were at super middleweight. 3 world champions at super middleweight. Look how long he reigned. That is a disgrace. Froch beat 11.
Yeah.
He beat 3. Look how short Carl's reign were to his. Beat 3 world champions. Froch had 12 world title fights and he beat 11 champions. He's had 24 world title fights. 19 he won and he beat 4. Oh, what are the 15?
Dan Sherry, and he had one over in South Africa, didn't he? Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you who they were, shall I? I'm going to read them out to you now and you're going to be shocked.
Go on.
Right. First one at super middleweight. Here we are, super middleweight. Obviously he fought Michael Watson in his first one, didn't he? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Then he fought Fellaini Malinga. That's his first world title win over a champion. Then he fought John Jarvis. Who's he? Ron Essett. Who's he? Tony Thornton. Who's he?
The Postman?
Postman Thornton, yeah. He beat Lyndall Holmes. That's his second world champion at super middle. Juan Carlos Jimenez. Ray Close. I thought he got beat in that. They did it as a draw.
Yeah.
Nigel Benn when he got beat in that. They did that as a draw, didn't they? Took a point off Ben, didn't they, in 8th round.
Ross, interesting point about the Ray Close fight, actually, while we're discussing it. I think I mentioned it on the pod a while back. One of the judges who gave it to Eubank or gave it a draw was one Clark Sammartino, who scored incorrectly during the Lee Haskins-Ryan Burnett fight recently.
Yeah, that's the same guy, isn't it? Yeah. Well,
seem to have lost Ross there, unfortunately. He's disappeared. The powers that be have maybe kicked him off for going through Chris Eubank's record. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Go over to the Facebook page. We've got a lot of stuff on Riddick Bowe this week. I don't know if you remember Riddick Bowe, but he was one hell of a fighter. He's often remembered for dropping the WBC belt in the bin against Lennox Lewis, but he had some great fights. 3 with Evander Holyfield, 1 where the fan man jumped into the ring, and then there was the rematch with Andrew Galotta, where he got caught with the low blows and then everybody jumped in and started piling in and they were throwing the policemen around and George Foreman was trying to stop people from getting involved in fights. And I've put a few clips up on the Facebook page this week to celebrate Riddick Bowe. His fight with Elijah Tillery as well when they started kicking each other, and his manager Rock Newman was quite the character. It was really fun times, hedonistic times during the 90s whenever Riddick Bowe was around. So if you get a chance, go on YouTube and look out for that. Big Vern, at Big Vern 46, I think he is on Twitter. He's disappeared off the call, so you're stuck with me. I'll wrap the call up now. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you again soon. Bye.